Hey guys, I'm back again. Today I'm going to be unboxing the OnePlus T, the moment we all been waiting for. This video is actually shot on my Google Pixel 7 Pro, so giving it one last hurrah before we hand the baton over. I've been using the Pixel 7 Pro for a month now, had great experience with it, but now it's time to move on to the OnePlus. I've actually been eyeing this phone for a while. It's pretty thick looking box, which is nice and exciting to see. These days, Samsung, Apple, and even Google, when you're buying a phone for them, you're just getting a smaller and smaller box. As you can see right here, Pixel 7 Pro. Their box is about half the size of what the OnePlus have to offer. And the OnePlus T comes in at $650. The regular Pixel 7 is $600 for launch price, so this is $50 more. But the Google Pixel 7 Pro is $900, so on the surface, much lower price phone. But let's jump right to the unboxing. I don't have my unboxing knife, so I'm just going to use this SIM ejector and hope for the best. Greeted with this nice little box. Open it up. Nothing left in there. SIM card ejector. You still get this little dongle thing to transfer your files. Welcome guide. Quick start. Don't see my sticker in here. Not like I ever use it. Hope it's not the start of them slowly taking stuff away from me. Now we pop this out. Got the phone, which is the main event. Put that down for a second. And let's take a second and really appreciate this charging brick that it comes with. You don't really see it anymore these days. It is amazing charging brick. It says 150 watt fast charging, but I think in the US we might be capped off at like 100 watt or something. Let's just call it 150 watt fast charging anywhere in the world besides the US. OnePlus have pretty much kept their style since day one. Props to them for that. Get a nice looking cable. Super thick fast charging brick. Really look forward to using this and topping off the phone in about 10 minutes or so. It's not very coming out very easily. Oh shit, almost dropped it. Okay, we got it out. They wrapped it in some kind of thin paper looking thingy instead of using plastic. I guess it's probably better for the environment. Peel that off. Got the phone right here. Actually feels very nice and comfortable to hold in the hand. The back. Peel this off. Very shimmery, matted looking design. Got the OnePlus logo right there. Got the obnoxious looking camera lens up here. Triple camera setup and flash. This is a 6.7 inch display, which is about the same as the Google Pixel 7 Pro, I believe. But it feels longer and more narrow, versus the Pro is a little bit wider. So it feels very thin and light in the hand. Comes with 120 Hz refresh rate. The Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. 4800 milliamp battery. We'll power it up. Volume rock on the left side, power button on the right. One thing that is noticeably missing is the alert slider. iPhones have always had it since the beginning of time. For some reason, no one on Android include the alert slider except OnePlus. And for some reason, they decided to skip out on it for this model. Felt like it's always been their signature thing, at least on the Android side. So now we're connected to Wi-Fi. I'll set this phone up. It's currently nighttime. We'll consider this day 0. I'll try to install all the apps and update everything overnight and then begin day 1 tomorrow. Alright, so day 1 with the OnePlus 10T. Woke up at 6:35 a.m. By the way, I think OnePlus in general is a terrible name. And just to throw additional numbers behind it, along with a random number like T and R, just makes the name even worse. But bad naming aside, I think the phone overall is pretty solid. So after the initial setup, something I did want to cover, the original red and white cable that the phone came with does not play well with the Google Pixel 7 Pro. So when I try to transfer the data over using that cable to connect both phones together, it didn't work. So then I had to use the white cable that came with the Google Pixel 7 Pro. Just a minor thing, but something just to keep in mind. Not all phones talk to each other that well depending on the cable. So if you're switching, sometimes you might need to play around with different cables just to make sure all your data transfer correctly. And with my first day using the OnePlus 10T, I woke up and noticed my phone was at 80%. Then I went into the battery setting and then it had an option that says optimize battery or something like that, just to help preserve the battery in the long run. I actually just ended up turning that off. I know the idea behind it is you don't want to charge up to 100% overnight and then just have it plugged in, sucking up battery throughout the night as you're sleeping. That's probably not good for the battery in the long run. So that's why they did it this way. So I just plugged it in quickly early in the morning, let it charge up to 100% so that I can get a true feel for the battery life. So I just plugged it in, went to brush my teeth, did my morning routine, came back to my phone. At 7:04, it is at 100%. Now I'm ready to begin my day. Not sure how I feel about the design of this phone. It is very shimmery looking and it feels very slippery in the hand. I would recommend using a case for this phone. I would have preferred a matted back or even like the glass back, similar to the Google Pixel 7 Pro. And I always feel like I'm gonna drop this phone. And I do not like the design of this obnoxious looking camera bar at the top. Super ugly, very intrusive. I don't like the bulge sticking out. It's not a very pleasant design. Then again, I don't really like the camera bar on the iPhone series either, especially for the Max. One thing you would notice with this phone is OnePlus left off the Hasselblad branding, which is surprising. I think they signed like a 3 to 5 year commitment or something together, but maybe OnePlus is just using it for their Pro series. And then the T series, whatever the hell T stands for, they opted to leave off the Hasselblad branding. OnePlus is never really known for their photos anyways, even though they did try to partner with Hasselblad to improve their camera image, or at least brand recognition, but the photos and videos itself hasn't gotten that much better throughout the years. This video is actually shot on the OnePlus 10T, and you will notice it's a pretty big difference compared to the Google Pixel 7 Pro. But if you're looking for a great camera, this is not it. But if you're just looking for pure power and just super fast charging, this might be a fun phone to use. One of the first things I did is turn off this annoying shelf thing on the top right hand corner, because if I'm swiping down a notification, occasionally I would activate it. Shelf is basically OnePlus versions of Google Home. You get to see some additional data, your steps and random stuff, but if I'm pulling down a notification, I would expect to see the notification and not something else. I know if I start swiping towards the middle, then I can just access my notification, but sometimes I just end up triggering it by accident. So the first thing I did was just turn it off completely, just so I don't have to deal with it. And I noticed with the OnePlus phone, I believe in the US only T-Mobile is partnering with OnePlus for this particular phone, so they loaded up with a bunch of bloatware. So compared to the Google Pixel 7 series, where it is a clean and smooth feel, you don't see a lot of random apps like T-Mobile Play and all this other garbage that you're not going to use. So I have to spend a few minutes just to disable whatever I can, force stop, disable notification just so it wouldn't be in my way. So another thing to consider if you're getting the carrier model versus the unlocked model. Comes with 128GB of storage, which is standard across all high-end flagship phones these days. Would have been nice to see them bump it up a little bit just to stand out there. But 128GB should be more than enough for most people. Spend the morning driving around cleaning up that fallen tree in the back of my house just to get to this yard where I can dump all these trees and find out they are closed. So then I have to drive everything back home and try it again tomorrow. At least I'm able to test out the camera bright and early in the morning. Here's the regular camera view from my car. Trying to take a picture of a sign. It actually looks okay, I guess. And here it is at 10x. Me zooming all the way in just to find out the sign says closed, even though on Google says it was open. And in this picture you can read everything okay. It just doesn't look very pleasant. Some of the words are a little blurry. And just overall not a good quality photo for even 10x is not very demanding, but at least I got the information that I want. It's just not a very detailed or good looking photo. And at around 9 o'clock my phone is at 89%, so I've been awake for 2 hours and it only dropped 11%. Pretty good start there to the day for the OnePlus 10T. When I was using the Pixel series I noticed that each hour it would drop by 10%. In this case I used the OnePlus to use navigation early in the morning for about 10-15 minutes. Just snap a few quick photos before heading back home. Once I get back to my desk, I play around with the Google homepage. This is where I get all my news just by swiping right and playing around getting my news feed here. One thing I do not like is this little T-Mobile tab at the top. I mean, I don't have to touch it, but it's there. Just another example of bloatware in the US if you buy a carrier model. I mean, it's just free stuff to watch from T-Mobile. If I'm accessing a Google homepage just to get my news, I just want to see all Google stuff and not random T-Mobile stuff. For breakfast, got some croissant, bacon, and eggs shot on the OnePlus 10T. Not a bad photo. See, the croissant is pretty focused. The bacon is focused at the bottom, but the top is blurry for whatever reason. And even the eggs is slightly out of focus as well. At 10 o'clock, my phone was at 76%. It's just something minor, but I noticed some of the app naming convention is off. For example, this Bobby approved app, for some reason they have the D in the second line. I wish they found a way to make everything more even. Maybe it's a particular app itself, either make the app longer or just the spacing better. Just a minor nitpicky thing that I usually don't make a deal of, but for some reason this caught my attention since it's so close to the top. For lunch we got some Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich along with fries. Here's a picture shot on the OnePlus. The drink looked pretty good, sandwich looked okay, the font stands out, fries look delicious. The sandwich's bun looks a little washed out though. And by 1 o'clock my phone is at 31%. Here is me using the recording app on the OnePlus 10 and it makes me miss the Google Pixel series already. No transcription or anything, just basic recording. I can't search my notes. Don't even know if this thing even uploads to the cloud or not. So getting a little buyer's remorse, but I think I'll be okay. Then I went for my afternoon walk, took out my camera and recorded video footage of me walking around. This is the usual view that I would capture on my Pixel, but this time I'm using a OnePlus phone. The color just doesn't look as nice. Maybe it's just colder, it snowed a few times, but just the grass looks a little hurt. The color is just not very pleasant looking. For OnePlus phone, I do like that the volume rocker and the power button is on separate side. That way you never get confused which button you're pressing. I do wish that the volume was slightly lower just because the phone is so long. Sometimes I feel like I have to stretch my fingers a little bit just to touch it. Same with the power button. But then again, I think if they make it too low, you might touch it accidentally in the palm of your hands. And the OnePlus 10T is actually missing wireless charging. So at $650, a lot of mid-range phones do have to make sacrifices. Google Pixel 7 did include that. I mean, it's not a deal breaker since their fast charging is absolutely ridiculous that you might not even need the wireless charging, but it's nice just to have the wireless charger if you're driving. I can just mount it in my car with GPS, and I like seeing that my phone is charging a little bit at a time, even though you're probably only getting 1 or 2%. So just something I wanted to point out if you are a huge wireless charging fan. Here's another video shot on the OnePlus 10T, mini little waterfall. I did some light gaming in the afternoon as well. Works pretty flawlessly, no stutter lag. I can swipe to the home screen just fine. I know I was having an issue with the Google Pixel 7 Pro for a few weeks before it was finally addressed, but plenty of power, don't have any issues there. And one thing that caught me by surprise is the notification sound on this phone. For some reason, it sounds very similar to Google Assistant getting activated, or even Siri's. So that caught me by surprise. There was a few times I thought it activated Google Assistant or something, but it was just my text messages coming in. And at around 3-ish, my phone was at like 3%. So let's say time of death is 3:35 p.m. That gives it about 8.5 battery life today. So not the best battery life so far, but screen on time is 4 hours and 8 minutes, which is better than the Google Pixel 7 Pro. Overall, I was averaging close to 3 hours. Given it's just day one, I remember the Pro series started off pretty strong at first too. So I just plugged my phone in quickly just to see how it goes. And in about 2 minutes, my phone was at 25%. So that's like a quarter of the battery life, just plugging it in for a couple minutes. And I left it charging there for a little bit, went to do some work, came back and checked my phone again at 8 minutes. It is at 64%, which is incredible. The 125 watt fast charging on this phone. And if you are not in the US, you will get 150 watt fast charging, which is even crazier. So in less than 10 minutes, I'm already at 64%. Compared to the Google Pixel 7 Pro, I would need to wait half an hour just to get to 50%. Definitely very impressed with the fast charging. You can just plug it in quickly, go change and get ready, and by the time I'm done, this is more than enough to last me the rest of the day. At the 15-minute mark, the phone is at 92%, so practically fully charged. At roughly 18 minutes, the phone is at 100%, which is impressive to say the least, that in under 20 minutes, you can just charge this phone, get ready to go out, and knowing that you can get a full battery life in that short amount of time is pretty cool. I'm curious to see how the battery life will perform over the next month, but just having this super fast charging is definitely game changing, and it's hard for me to complain about the battery life if it can charge up so quickly. Just in under 10 minutes you can get 64% of battery. But there you have it. This is day one with the OnePlus 10T. Interesting start to the day. Definitely a different experience coming from the Google Pixel 7 Pro. Look forward to using this phone for the next 30 days. Please check out my Google Pixel 7 Pro vlogs if you haven't already. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want me to cover this phone, comparisons with the regular Pixel 7 or even the Pixel 7 Pro. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.